goal. I think we make some short passes. I know that the fans they like that, the players like that, but for me I don't like that. I need to score more goals.
Credit must also go to Marumo. They played conditions well in the second half, and they took the opportunities well. And I wish them the best of luck in the remaining part of the competition.
What can I say? Proud of the players, but we got nothing. We definitely deserve more out of the game and possibly 3 points.
And from Cyril. To be honest, we came here to win the game. Unfortunately, we conceded the goal very early.
What's pleasing today is that we kept a clean sheet and we managed to score 3 goals. Scored
I'm Magesi number 10. This is Extra Time, and on Extra Time today, lots to get through as far as the football this last week. The Carling knockout, there was action as far as the midweek was concerned. Scintillating goal scored in that. Then we go into the Betway Premiership, and obviously there was so much to talk about with Kaiser Chiefs getting a crucial victory there, moving up into 3rd position. There was the big game between Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns, and that was absolutely vital in terms of who is in the running for the title, although it is very early. And then there were just great goals, youngsters scoring, goals of the season, saves of the seasons. Extra Time is where you need to stay. And here in studio to give you their perspectives, I got first and foremost closest to me, Matthew Booth, the big man, used to play his football for Mamelodi Sundowns. Right next to him is Daniel Bennett. Call it like Bennett, that's what we call him on a Monday. The former referee will give you the insights you need on so much that took place. There were red cards, there were throwing of bottles, kicking into the stands. Too much for the referee to deal with on a Monday, but he will. And then at the far post, it's Pamuzo Manenza, the bold and the beautiful, the former man at Orlando Pirates, and Bits up front. So, gentlemen, let's get straight into the conversation as far as the week was concerned. And what do we want to talk about first? The man of matches? Should we do that? Let's look at the man of the matches over the week that was and get your perspectives on which player was the Extra Time player of the week. Who are your nominees with so many good performances?
I think for me, Saling stands out. And Glovo. I think Makwele as well had a fantastic Ndlondlo. I think those are 3 or 4 names that stood out for me. To pick one out of that is going to be very difficult.
Well, you have to.
I would probably go with Saling.
And not Eckstein? Eckstein was ice cold, cool in the box.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Collected. Ditejana as well. Pumuzo, he was coming with assists and goals. Wow.
It's a difficult week to select player of the week.
Okay.
Because you look at Eckstein, you look at what Ditejana is doing, you look at what Siema did midweek, not even before you go to the man of the match against Sundowns. Midweek, Siema was also influential. So those 3 for me, Siema, Eckstein, and also Ditejana.
Now, Matthew's not even faithful to the centre-backs of the world because Siema is there on the list, and there aren't many weeks where we have a centre-back as a player of the week nominee. And you're not mentioning him?
No, I don't know why you're snubbing Saling, Thomas.
No snub.
For me, he's the obvious choice. So
Obvious.
Yeah,
okay, tell me why obvious.
Counter-attacking his stats. His passing accuracy was 89% assist. He was instrumental in actually that quick transition. Him and Moleleke had put on a counter-attacking display of note.
Did you say 80? 88% passing accuracy. You see, this is where like Matthew's going to kill us, though, because he went deep with this numbers now. So unless you have a number that beats 88% passing accuracy,
Thomas,
it's going to be Saleh.
Thomas, if you're going to base football on stats, no, I'm just telling you, if you're going to base football on stats, you're not going to get the total picture of what we're speaking about. Because if you're going to base it on the pass accuracy, then I can ask you the direction of the passes. There's a lot to look at. We go deeper. If you look at Mamelodi Sundowns, for example, when you look at Mamelodi Sundowns having most of the position, and you look at which players were the passes between most of them, it's Grant Kekani, it's also Cupido. You want to tell me they made the most passes over the weekend? So if you were saying based on that, they made.
Don't give me 3 players. I got 1 player from Matthew. That 1 player, he's saying player of the week, Saleh. Pick one.
Detergent.
And now giving me that extra sauce you wanted to give me. Why?
Thomas, when you look at all the goals that TS Galaxy is scoring, you look at Mlambo, he's scoring weekend in, weekend out. But who does the job to go and fetch the ball, carry it, get into the final third and give that game-changing pass? It's Detergent that has been doing it, not only this week, but weekend in, weekend out. It's been amazing.
But I also watched, Thomas, I must still step in there. It's not just about one step. If you let me carry on, I could have put in a number. But visually, I actually watched the game as well.
Yeah.
And so I saw exactly how he was so composed, running with the ball, dropping the shoulder, and how he linked up with Mololeki. And he almost single-handedly allowed Orbit to get a result there against the Magesi team who dominated in possession.
All right, so here's the question. It started here, and I didn't have a question for you at home, but now I do. Who do you think, if you watched a number of games this week, and even if you watched one and you thought, this guy is the guy, he is my man of the week, he made my weekend, he made my week, he did the most and more than anyone, even if it was just one match that you saw, tell me who that person is. Hashtag SSDski, because I've got a debate that will not end here as far as who the man of the week is, and I need you to help me at home. Now let's get straight into a conversation that takes us into our weekly feature, and that feature is where we take a look at our moment of the week. That's our 30-second strike, and that 30-second strike ordinarily is where I get to choose who gets to go first, second, third, and I go in order of the brilliance of the moments, and every single week Matthew Breeze gets to go first. Except for this week.
I don't know why you guys are even going. You must just throw in the towel.
Throw in the towel, never. We never give up, never surrender. However, how we do choose it often is just like on our group. The first guy to say, I want this one. And Matt was very quick on the draw with what he chose. However, though, Matt, I still think that I'm going to put up a big contest.
Okay. What?
I think I'm going to be a contest.
What?
I think I'm going to fight. Yeah, no, so stand by. And let's see if you even go last.
As you deliver first.
I'm going to start with Daniel, because Daniel picked a referee's moment, and Daniel, unless that referee's moment is him scoring a header.
But this is why I've chosen this clip, because what the referee does in this situation is actually makes the referee feel like he added to benefit to the game. It actually makes you feel like you actually scored the goal, and it gives you such a great.
Let's see what you got. So feel good.
There's a play breaks down here, and you were talking about X-10 earlier. So the ball goes down the wing, and there's a foul in the build up to play. You see the referee clearly signals play on, let's go. X-10, gets the ball out of his feet and finishes it.
So you like the play on?
I love the play on. It just shows that the ref wants to add value to the football match.
I like it. Play on leads to a goal.
Yeah.
That is a very good moment to go first.
Not as good as your guys. No worries.
Matt, a position of going first is stretching.
And at the next referees convention, they're going to mention that. Thank you for that. We love that one. That's the 30-second strike that Daniel Bennett has given us. Next, I'm going with you, Pumuzo.
Oh! No. You
can't refuse. Why not?
No. My moment and Matthew's moment, our producer saw it. He's saying in my ear, no, never. No, never. He's saying in my ear.
So what must happen?
You must go.
Okay. And I can even hear the Thomas play a moment. All right, let me go then. Let me go. And this is The 30-second strike of the week. Take a look here as Pirates on the attack. Mutuma with the header and Chipezeze with the save of the season. The fans at home cannot be wrong. He has been the man who, for every single match in the Carling knockout, has been voted man of the match. In this match, man of the match again against Orlando Pirates. You cannot train to do this. You cannot practice to react like a cat. You have to simply do it in the moment. And that is what Chipezeze did. Others can train to kick the ball. Others can train to hit volleys. But can you train to react, to do this? No, you can't. Man of the decade, Chipezeze. That's my 30-second strike, guys. I have tried. I'm out of breath.
Yes, yeah.
Should I give it No, you really. Give me hope. You're next. Give me your 30-second strike.
When you look at the bold moment of the week, it has to go to a man that made sure that Chipezeze does not make this save. Because when you look at this moment, look at Mlambo. He unleashes an unstoppable shot, goes with the lace technique. He could have gone in front to ask for the ball, but he remains. He readies himself, plays technique through that ball, and that is the bold moment of the week. Muremi, you deserve it, boy, but unlucky because over the weekend your teammate had to do.
So you're already handing out prizes.
No.
Did you just see the save of the season?
No, Mamela, we could have saved a lot of time. That was the bold moment of the week, but the champion moment is coming.
Thomas, Komozo was too quick on the draw. He clearly had little faith that happened midweek.
And we have rules
Little
on our group. Once you choose, you can't change. He chose midweek, so I'm taking that. And left a big gap for Matthew to step in.
Wow.
So Matthew, give us your 30-second strike, which is going to be very close, I'm sure, with our viewers at home, to the goal, the save that Chipezeze made.
Yeah, who would have known that a strike would have come as close as it did to beating Moreme's strike, because that was a hell of a strike. But I mean, what Danson does here is just remarkable, because the skill here for me is that he's watching the ball in flight all the way. And if you have an imagination, you're thinking that somebody's coming to close you down, to put a foot through that, and he watches that ball onto his foot, gets it up and under, hits the crossbar, and leaves one of the world's best goalkeepers standing. And so for a young man to do that in that atmosphere, 1-0 down, away from home, to make it 1-1, wow, that's just
first start of the season as well for Danson in the Betway Premiership. Yeah, it's a very, 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 very good contender for the 30-second strike of the week. Very good contender.
Thank you very much.
Why do you
appreciate it for a change?
Elvis, I'm with you, Elvis. Don't worry about that. I'm with you, Elvis. I'm with it. Let's go on now. And you guys tell us at home what you think as well. On a good weekend of football, as Tamba is telling us here, let's get to the Carling knockout. And the Carling knockout did see Orlando Pirates having to work pretty hard, in fact, to get the victory. And that was against Magesi. You've got the tactics and trends. Take me through that first goal.
Yeah, when you look at the first goal, you're going to focus on the pressure area and the non-pressure area. Mokazi moves the ball to Siema, who has been brilliant this week. And at the bottom of your screen, Ndaba is lifting his hand to say, I'm ready to receive. When you look at that street ball, the diagonal ball across, look at the amount of space that Ndaba has in this moment to be able to receive. That ball coming from Siema, crucial, moving that block of Magesi. Now look at that defense. They are all watching their own goals, waiting for the hand of God is on Muremi. He's going to go on and score the goal. What are the defenders looking out for? For the space that Muremi might run into in that moment. But Muremi says, I can see where you want to go. I want to use the other space that is behind. I'm not going to attack the penalty area. I'm going to drop off. He drops off so well, Muremi. Good first touch to correct. And then after that comes the lightning strike. And the goal, Manaka Thomas. A well-taken goal, changing the point of attack. Siema on the right-hand side, diagonal ball to find Ndaba with the assist, Muremi with a great goal.
And everything that Coach Wadu is touching now, when he brings in a player, they're contributing. I mean, Ndaba is not a regular starter. He gets an opportunity in this one. Looks he comes up with that assist.
Yeah, Hotto's made that position his own, but it's great to see him contributing, coming off, taking his chance. But what was remarkable about that move was if you saw the little bubble just before Siema laced that ball, it didn't affect him in the least. So he trusted his technique, and that to find Ndaba in that open space was just phenomenal from the centre back.
More tactics, more trends. Pirates, the second goal.
You can see in the moment that we're going to look at now, you'll see the formation of Magesi in the moment that we're going to look at. Now, Orlando Pirates are rotating the ball yet again. Now, look at that back four. Magesi were playing in a 4-2-3-1. That is the midfield two. Those are the three tens that were behind the main striker. I'm going to spiral Tito Masongani because he's going to go on and give the assist in this moment. The end of God is on Makopa. He's on the outside at the moment. You don't want your striker to be in those positions. Now, Makopa is going to move into that central area. When he moves into that central area, he's creating a space for Levito to be able to capitalize on that space. Now, Pirates push forward, and as soon as Tito plays that ball out wide, look at Levito. Levito points and says, Tito, I want you in the pocket. Go in the pocket. I'm going to play that ball in the pocket. Tito receives in the pocket. The end of God is on Makopa. He's going to go on and score the goal in this moment. Look at that pass from Tito, dissecting three players with that one pass. Good first touch coming from Makopa. He spins that defense and the ability to go across goal to be able to find the goal. A well-worked goal, delightful pass by Tito.
He needs that goal because he's been the assist king at Pirates, but he is the number 9. And you want him to be scoring goals if you're a Pirates fan.
Yeah, and he's actually got very neat feet, and he's a good box poacher. So, Makopa didn't, when you get sucked in as a back four, you've got to do a concertina movement. So you've got to shuffle across very quickly, and Makopa didn't do that. And if you're going to give evidence that kind of space, he's going to punish you.
Now, Daniel, there's a yellow card that comes, and most people don't understand this. A keeper goes down injured, the referee says, yellow card. Is it a yellow card to be injured?
Well, the main reason for this yellow card is delaying the restart, but there is a trend. Pamuzo loves his trends and tactics. So what's happening in the world of football now is goalkeepers have been told to go down.
Keeper says it goes down.
Pretend to be injured, because then the referee doesn't have to make the goalkeeper leave the field to play for treatment, so they then have a team meeting at the halfway line. So this is becoming a trend even at my son's school football matches. The coach says, Simi, down. He fakes a hamstring. They have a team meeting. Keeper doesn't have to go off. They have the team meeting, tactics, then the game restarts again.
I mean, to be fair there, Elvis is not, he's made a save here, brilliant save, one of the moments of the week, and it's difficult to see how you've injured yourself with this.
Yeah.
And then he sits down and he's not holding any weight on his body.
Yeah.
There's no way like he's saying, it's my hamstring, it's my this, it's my that. It's not late in the game, it's 35 minutes. So the referee has spotted all that and will make a judgment call. This is a pure judgment call. You're faking.
As referees, you're not psychologists or whatever, but you can read a player's body language, and there's clearly nothing wrong with him. He's not holding any part of his body, like you say. And we sometimes tend to take the score of the game and the pace of the game at that time to slow the game down. And you can get a sort of feeling on the field of play as to which players are doing that.
Everyone's shaking their heads here next to you. Woodson's shaking his head, Matthew's shaking his head. So, yellow card, Elvis, and Elvis is shaking his head.
Yeah, they were overloaded in that midfield. That is Magesi. They started off with a 4-2-3-1 formation. Now, that stoppage was for them to tinker with the midfield, with the central midfield, because they needed to add one more midfielder. So for the coach to be able to give the instructions, Chipezeze had to sit down so that they can add that extra man into that midfield. It was a tactical change, a tactical adjustment that they had to do.
And I feel that referees must start calling their bluff, because, let's be honest, in 90 minutes, a goalkeeper shouldn't be doing enough to get cramp. So unless there's an obvious contact, then fair enough. But if he's going to be stopping play in that manner, holding his hamstring, the referee's got to call his bluff and tell him to get up. Tell him to get up. Tell him to get up and stop messing about, because it's a clear tactic.
So you support that yellow?
Absolutely, yeah. And the thing is, telling players to just stand up. We're also not doctors, so what we have to do, what we do have to do, is administer the rules of the game. Delaying the restart of the game, so therefore yellow card.
There's another one coming up later where player kicks it into the stands, and I don't even know if that's delaying the restart. He gets a yellow card. We'll talk. We'll see if there's consistency from the referees. And call it like Bennett has called that one a yellow card for Elvis Chipezeze. Let's move on to Marumo Gallants and Stellenbosch. This was a quarterfinal in the Carling knockout, and here, hey, the little guys. The little guys were on fire. None more so than this man. Ndondlo with the clinical finish?
No, it's an excellent finish. I think he's playing that role very well at Maruma Gallants. They're using him as a false nine. He is the outlet whenever they have the ball. But a lot of work was done by Utalisa in this moment. In this instance, it's just a long clearance. But look at him with the hunger to ask for the ball in behind. He tries to play his teammate in. But the bounce of the ball, it drops perfectly for him. He gets his praise. He goes on to be man of the match in this game.
Such bad defending from Stellenbosch though in that sector at right back and right side of centre back, you know, to allow him to get in behind them. They're all both defenders ball watching. It's really not acceptable to allow him that sort of space in behind.
Again, and let's continue with the performance that Marumo put on here. The rain starting to come down, the conditions becoming difficult, and still, it's the guys who benefit the littler guys on the field. I love it because I'm not a big guy. I love it, you know, to see the shorties. Wonderful.
You've got a big personality, Thomas. That's what counts. But yeah, unfortunate for Henri. You know, he obviously tries to clear it, but oncoming Hombaniso sticks his leg out. Rather fortunate. And this is, again, very poor defending. The front centre-back doesn't win it. I think that's Nava. And Manaka, who's come on, who hasn't found a lot of game time, you know, has put his hand up to start in the following game by making it 4-0.
They get 4 goals, steadies. I mean, you're the man from the Western Cape. Explain. Yeah. I mean, they were in a final just the other day at the beginning of the season. This is a game where they could potentially get to another semi-final and they catch 4.
Yeah, look, I mean, Steve's always done very well to recruit after having sold his marquee players. I think perhaps a couple of positions, not the sort of quality coming off the bench necessarily. So perhaps that could be his problem.
Speaking of 4s, the Arrows scored 4 against Marumo Gallants. That is coming up on Sunday, and we'll look at that later on. That was in the Betway Premiership, now in the Carling Knockout. Yeah, that's going to be an opportunity for revenge, but can they? And then Richards Bay, Orlando Pirates on Saturday night, or Saturday afternoon.
If you want a weekend away, you must go to KZN. You're going to get 2 good games. Richards Bay host Orlando Pirates. Arrows is going to host Marumo Gallants. So those are 2.
I want to hear a good weekend. I want to hear a final.
Final.
Who's in the final?
No, these are still semi-final.
Yeah, but who will be in the final?
Richards Bay or Pirates, Arrows or Marumo.
Are you willing to go any further than that?
Where my predictions are going, no. I'd rather just keep quiet.
It's
very difficult, you know.
Is it that tight, Joe? Are the fixtures that tight?
Yeah. You know, if you look at the Betway Prem, it's very difficult to predict results because of the quality. And so when it comes to cup football in a semi-final, I wouldn't want to, no.
Okay, well, at home, you guys can predict then. Carling Knockout, what do you think? Who will make it to the final with those semi-finals in Durban to look forward to over the weekend, live on your World of Champions in Durban? Speaking of which, when we go to Durban, we have to go now to the Betway Premiership where Durban City were hosting Kaiser Chiefs. Critical 3 points in this one. There was a goal disallowed, Daniel, and we saw Gavin Hunt celebrating.
Typical Gavin Hunt celebration.
Yeah.
But clearly offside. I mean, Suela got it spot on, and you see as the ball gets pinged to the right wing here, there's a cross into the penalty area, and clear offside there when the ball's played. He's at least 2 or 3 yards offside, so correct decision by Suela.
It wasn't so clear. Gavin was on his bike. Magawana, absolutely.
And even the subs were complaining, but it's absolutely 100% clear offside.
We'll see on the replay. And I was even trying to work this out from Magawana could have done anything to stay onside, but he doesn't get to this ball if he stays onside.
No, you can't get to the ball.
Can Jan?
No. The first thing is stay onside and try and get there, because it doesn't help to be ahead and then the defenders are not dropping off. So it's very difficult for him to stay onside because the defenders are keeping their line to say, hey, no, you're getting too close to our goalkeeper. We'll keep our ground.
And you know, the thing is, if you looked at the clock on that moment there, disallowed goal, 85-30 on the clock. I don't think Coach Gavin Hunt has even got back to the bench from the celebration when its ball is in the net on the other side of the field.
Now, what I liked about Kaiser and his staff was he started with Tetra as a sole 6. So he had 5 players in front of him who were very attack-minded, you know. Also, their ball position was in their favour throughout the game. Gavin went with Jodwana, Jurgens and Nodada, midfield, which was had a very much a defensive element to it. This is a great finish from De Silva. You know, when that ball floats in perfectly for you, you know the goalkeeper's coming to or moving, gravitating towards his near post. So he's got to get that glided headed to the far post perfectly, and he does so.
If you're giving an assist of the season, maybe this cross from Gaston Serino needs to be amongst them.
You know, we've been on the case of the Kaiser Chiefs coaches, but we need to give them credit here, because the three players that are involved, before the ball goes into the back of the net, they're coming off the bench. When we speak about the coach's influence, is when the coach brings in a Munyani who knocks the ball down, Serino who's going to cross the ball, Flavio that is heading the ball into the net. Those three guys that touches the ball, they're coming from the bench. So it says a lot about the coach and going to plan B. But that is a difficult cross, because it's just lifting. As he's connecting with the ball, it's lifting. But the technical quality that Serino has in this moment is second to none. He has produced such top performance for years in South Africa. But give the credit to the coaching team of Kaiser Chiefs. They made the correct decision. Flavio off the bench to score. Serino off the bench to give the assist. Munyani off the bench to give the secondary assist. That comes from the bench of Kaiser Chiefs. Well done.
7 clean sheets this season for Kaiser Chiefs. Their first win since August, though, massively important.
Yeah, great. And there's, you know, obviously a little bit of history there with Gavin had coached the team, so he would have got his team up and running and aggressive. But yeah, well deserved ultimately. I think the message was clear from Kaiser, you know, as opposed to Gavin's midfield about their attacking impetus, and deservedly winners.
With De Silva scoring there, what do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of De Silva Fox in the box?
Huh?
Oh, no.
Come on, guys. De Silva Fox in the box?
Except for me, the other day
I like it.
No, the other day it was
3 goals in the box. He's De Silva Fox in the box.
The other day was boys 2 men. The other day,
You just come up with that now.
Yeah.
You just come up with
Okay,
that
so
now.
you hate it. You guys don't.
No
Silver Fox.
I am like that. No, you Foxy called.
But not a silver fox.
I am not about
His hair is not grey or whatever. The silver fox in the box, guys. Anyway, maybe the Chiefs faithful will take it up and use that as the feel free to use it. Don't worry about it. I give you permission. The silver fox in the box, giving all 3 of the points to Kaiser Chiefs. A massive 3 points for them in terms of being title contenders. And I know it's early in the season, but they needed to get back on track with that. Now we look at Suelele as they got the victory against Cocoon. You mentioning a bit of aggro between coaches, beef, history. Here we go. Magesi sorting that out for his coach.
Yeah, Magesi did well to collect that ball and run across the box with a nice little return pass from Rapor. And the way he hit this was great. You know, you can see he's come back from the junior national team with a lot of energy. And yeah, this is great news for Suelele and the Bloemfontein faithful.
I think they missed Magesi when he was away with the under-20 at the World Cup. The opening win for Siema at home was Magesi with the brace. He comes back now against Siema's former team. He gives that sort of a strike to be able to get the maximum point for Siema and the boys. A well-taken goal. Maybe the keeper could have done a little bit better with strong arms to parry the ball away.
Here's the top half of the table, and it's the kind of top half you really do want to see. It's so tight. Pirates have those 2 games in hand, and at this stage, when we talk about title, no one's running away.
Yeah, and Eric, just looking back at the last result, Eric would have been frustrated not to have put a bit more pressure on Downs. But if you think that Sundowns and Pirates are favourites, if you consider the 1-1 away from home, I think it's advantage Pirates with those 2 games in hand.
Also, the arrows are starting to fire on all cylinders, guys. Coach Mlambo has 1 league title. And the way his side are playing right now, and Junior Dion, they could be a dark horse.
No, the dark horse is in position 4. The dark horse is in position 4. I said it even before they played the game. Watch out for this Kaiser Chiefs team. The depth that Chiefs has. If you want to speak about dark horses, speak about number 4.
Okay, so let me press you a little bit.
Yeah.
You want to say Kaiser Chiefs, the team that's won more trophies than any other trophy in South African football history, is a dark horse. Not an obvious horse.
No. Why is she? Dark horse.
Yeah?
Dark horse.
You're obvious. There's always an expectation that Kaiser Chiefs are going to be in the hunt every single season. And now, this season, the hunt is still on for the Kaiser Chiefs faithful. Here we look at the bottom of the table. Chipa United just had a penalty in a game over the weekend. Early on, couldn't score that.
Yeah, well, I didn't agree with the penalty decision in any case, but having said that, when things do go your way and then don't, I mean, that's it's down to where you are in the table. You know, you've really got to grind hard to get results in that position.
A lot of clubs in the bottom there that you're not expecting to see, and Stellenbosch's story seems to continue with how it looks in terms of them getting away from that bottom half of the table. And we also saw the draw as far as the CAF Confederations Cup is concerned, so the load on Stellies is going to continue to get even tougher while they still have to battle it out in domestic football at this stage to stay alive in terms of their place in the Betway Premiership. Lots for Coach Stevie Barker to put together. We're going to a quick break. After the break, we continue with so much more football, so much more to talk about. And also, Daniel, you've got some explaining to do with at least one of the moments. So, I need to understand. You ready? Daniel's ready. Big game of the weekend in the Betway Premiership, and that was the one that saw the defending champions, Mamelodi Sundowns, hosting Orlando Pirates in an eagerly anticipated encounter at Loftus. And, well, with the starting lineup, there were lots of surprises that were thrown in. Danson was one of them. Shalulile starting up front was a man who then took that opportunity and was so dangerous.
Yeah, Peter had 6 attempts, making Chain work on three occasions. But it's his movement off the shoulder here of the line that's always very impressive, and his athleticism. You know, he's always went in with the chance, and then of course he scores the opening goal.
And I mean, we looked here. The moments we've just shown you were 15th minute, 17th minute, and then 2 minutes after that, he comes with the goal when the ball. Pirates trying to work it out in defense. They don't get it away, Matthew.
Yeah, it's a very good press from Sundowns, but there's actually a foul in the ball.
Is there, Daniel? Yeah. Is there a foul? Yeah, is that a foul?
For me, no. And
no?
the guys will disagree. I'm probably with this stuff, but there's contact, but it's very minimal. Now, if we as referees are going to stop the game for every minimal contact, even if they score a goal, we're going to stop every single minimal contact, because then the game's going to last 100.
What about the fact that it's contact from behind?
Well, there is no longer so when you had a tackle from behind, it's just now become a reckless tackle. They've taken out position of, I see there was a slight contact, and then he does go and play the ball, but the guys will disagree. But, you know, like, football's a contact sport. If we give every single bit of contact, we're going to have 120-minute games. I understand he's got to get rid of it now.
He's touched him.
Minimal. Slight.
Yo. But the player's gone down on that slight contact.
I do get verifications on these clips from other referees before I come into studio.
Yeah.
Some said if a free kick was given, they could support. I'm not giving that as a referee. I used to let the game flow. Ask these two.
Yeah, but then you've got to be just consistent. You know, that's all we're asking as players and spectators.
What do you think? Is it a foul?
I think it's a foul because there was initial clip which was minimal, but then he's followed through.
Cupido foul there for you.
Yeah, Cupido foul.
Daniel says he's called it. He's called it. He said no.
Fair enough. There is a bit of a grey area there.
Grey area. What's the grey?
Oh, as Daniel explained, you know, there's minimal contest, so it's at the referee's discretion. But if I was the referee, I would have given a foul and stopped play.
Sure. But Daniel's given it, and he says that goal stands. You got this goal under the microscope, though. So give me the tactics, give me the trends.
When you look at the tactics and the trends, you look at the good pressing that Mamelodi Sundowns applies in this goal. When you roll it and you look at it, it starts from a set play. The first phase, they do well, Pirates, to defend that set play. But I'm going to pause it here. Look at Levito in the center circle. He's asking for the ball and he's pointing where he wants the ball. Moremi, that's the first option. Play Levito. Second option, play Apollis. The third option is play Dancing. He goes for the third option. He plays Dancing. But as soon as Dancing receives the ball, I'm looking at Nduli here saying, let's change the point of attack. He's got his hands spread out. Dancing can go. That is the first option. The second option that Dancing has is to play Moremi in that distance. But Mamelodi Sundowns has set this trap so well. As soon as Dancing plays that ball, Look at the three that are pressing. Mudiba, Santos, they're doing so well. Again, they suffocate Moremi for even closer this time. It's 3 versus 1. They nick the ball away. The hand of God is on Shalulile. He's going to go on and score the goal in this moment. When you roll it forward, look at Santos. He has got 2 options. Play Shalulile directly. He goes against it and says it's difficult. He can be able to play Silas in this instance. He goes to Silas, and when Silas gets that ball, look at how open Shalulile is. He does well to position himself in the box. Predator, first chance, great save by China. The second chance, he finishes with his weaker foot. But there's a crucial touch that China makes. That touch that China makes, it takes the ball away from Siema, was giving him the cover. Good goal by Mamelodi Sundowns. Good pressing trap. They suffocate Moremi. They win the ball. They go on to score the goal.
I think the answer is that as Pomoza was taking that through, he didn't say clear foul from Cupido. So I'm going there with the situation that means he's maybe siding with you and that the touch was minimal. He had an opportunity in the description.
I'm just saying that was tactics and trends.
Oh,
nothing to do with the referees. But the question that I want the viewers to ask themselves is that Cupido is challenging for the ball. Does he make contact with the ball? No. Does he make contact with Moremi? Yes. Does Moremi play the ball where he wants to play the ball? The answer is no. Why? Is it because of that contact? That is the question that the ref has to ask himself.
Well, the ref's sitting next to you. Don't ask me.
I asked him the question.
Yes, no. Can you answer?
Well, my point stays the same, minimum contact, because we're going to have stop-start games every time we have minimal contact. We have a slight contact when 2 players collide into each other, illegal shoulder charges. So
if you take it slightly back, if possible, you will see when the contact is made, and look at the knee of Moremi.
Yeah.
Now they will roll it. Cupido is trying to get to the ball. But in him trying to get to the ball, there is the touch on the knee. Do you see what happens to the knee?
But that's football contact, to be fair.
That's what I'm saying, is that those are the questions that you have to ask yourself.
I'm not debating that there's contact with the player. What I'm saying, it's minimal and it's slight.
Because thighs bump all the time in the game. I mean, that's part of like.
But if you're not making contact with the ball, which Cupido doesn't do, it's not necessarily that contact either. It's the follow through. So once Nduli's kind of released the ball, he's also brought down afterwards.
Hey Daniel, they're on your case, but you're sticking. Daniel said he's consulted others, and it's one of those that you can give, you don't give. Daniel personally, he's not giving. Others, like you saw, are allowing things to continue, and they're in the Daniel Bennett school of refereeing. Daniel, there were a couple other moments in this game that saw cards being flashed. And I want you to take me through this one. First of all, we see here the new man, Nuno Santos.
Yep.
Some might say in a flash of a moment here, he could have got 2 yellows. A little pull and then...
Yeah, look, when it comes to holding or pulling, it has to be for stopping a promising attack. The pass player is facing his own goal line, so there's no chance of spar.
Says he couldn't hear the whistle. Yeah, first there's the pull on Livito.
Okay, he pulls in, then he has a go like a little Yorkshire Terrier. He goes into the back of the ankles,
and then he's got
kick. He gives him a kick. By law, you could give a yellow card for reckless tackle, but what we also teach referees is this is a tough, high intensity, high atmosphere game. I think it was early in the game as well, very early, 7th minute. This is a chance to manage. For me, it's not a clear yellow card. It's a grey area, like Matthew says, there are going to be grey areas. This is a situation I would also prefer to have managed, because I know if it was a clear kick, studs in the back of the ankle, this is a slight tap, what we call a slight tap. The referee managed it, in my opinion, the best way possible, with a public warning.
So no yellow there, nothing given.
Nothing for me there.
And yet then Mudiba, who has got nobody around him, nothing, he gets a yellow card.
This is a different situation. So, if you see the clip, you'll see there's a clear push by Madiba in the power playback.
Then he kicks
Referee gives the free kick, obviously, because it's a clear push. This is separate from...
Boom, this is the stand.
This is not dissent. This is showing dissent towards the referee.
By kicking the ball into the stand?
Yeah, this is what players are now doing. Slamming the ball on the floor, kicking it into the crowd. It's not time wasting, because...
He's not delaying this restart.
No, because there's multiple ball system in our country. So there's a ball right there. The ball's already back in the stands. This is for what we say chirping, because...
And the ref, maybe was he put under pressure? Bottles started flying after that ball went into the stand.
See, because he's antagonizing the fans.
Yeah?
So he's actually caught creating a hostile environment. So he's got to give that yellow card for dissent.
A yellow card, and yeah, just kick it into the stand. Yellow card.
It's in the manner in which he kicks it.
Hey? Okay, guys. Yellow.
No, I agree, because he's riding up the crowd, and even though that's heat of the moment as well, he might not be thinking at that particular moment. There are consequences, and you saw that. You saw the reaction of the crowd immediately.
And you also saw his reaction. He actually accepted the yellow card. He went, and he was accepted. He didn't argue further back.
Pirates created a bucket load of chances in this game. Danson's goal, though, was maybe the icing on the cake. When you look at this encounter, with the number of chances that were created and the Shalilila chances that were created, fair result. Danson, we've spoken. That's fantastic. What do you think about the result?
But you have to look at the reaction of a police when the ball hits the back of the net. This goal was an amazing goal for the young man. I'm sure it will build the confidence in the season so far, because you look at the reaction of Master Chef, you look at the reaction of a police. It was a top strike, but with that last minute miss that Pirates had with Siema, they will feel. I think at this stage, the Pirates will feel they'll take a point is fine. But after Siema breaks through with that combination play with Masindi and he finds himself in the box, then they must be feeling like maybe they could have stolen it at the end.
Goal is undisputed. You mentioning about a decent point away from home for Orlando Pirates. What is a good point? People always say, that's a good point. That's a really good point that we've got here. Is this a good point for Pirates, given the number of chances they created in the game?
So it's not a good point. This is a great point, Thomas, because you're playing away from home against Mamelodi Sundowns, who are log leaders, and you're trying to chase them. So it's a fantastic point. And if you say a bucket load of goals, but I mean, Sundowns had 7 attempts, 3 on target. Pirates had 8 attempts, 3 on target. But for me, what stood out here was the midfield congestion. And the fact that Danson didn't last because he needed a Tito to come and try and break that line, or to put that little deft ball in, I think on 60 minutes. Danson had just scored that superb goal. You would have thought that energy, he would have kept him on for longer, but he was desperate to try and break the line, because that midfield congestion was it had to be broken. In the attacking third, both teams had a pass accuracy of like 55%, which is very unlike both teams.
I think for me, I looked at plan A that Coach Wadu had, was play with a 6 and 2-8. Now, that caused a little bit of confusion in the Sundowns midfield, because Obas does not have a reference. He's used to Pirates playing with a 10. They would have planned for that 10. But now you can see that plan B was to bring in Tito, then play with a 6, 8 and a 10. And that is the shape that changed in the second half for Orlando Pirates. But on the other side, with Mamelodi Sundowns also, with the tactical change where they brought in Adams into that midfield to partner Lende. Now it's 2-8 with a 6 and a pass. And then Santos goes out wide. It was a tactical game, high-level type of football. That was Champions League level of football.
Listening to Coach Cardoso after the game, though, I got a sense that he was also saying, as much as he's saying Pirates, great point, he was saying good point for Mamelodi Sundowns. Raisinho, suspended. Deboho Mokwena, suspended. Reyners, unable to train all week with what they say was a heart condition and only could play 15 minutes. They get away from this one at home against the rampant Orlando Pirates on a 6-game winning streak and get a point.
I think he's trying to put a positive spin on it.
It isn't positivity. I just gave you the positive.
No,
it's not positive.
He should be wanting, with Pirates having 2 games in hand, he should be wanting 3 points at home. He's obviously missing players, but Sundowns can't use that as an excuse, Thomas. They've got such quality coming off the bench, and they did well enough to retain 65% in that game, but it was just that midfield battle which just negated any further opportunities.
I think as coaches that are coaching top teams, I don't expect a coach to say that, because if we start going in that direction, Wadu can say Rile Mufukeng, second best player in the league last season, was not there. Sibelebele scored 2 goals against Mamelodi Sundowns. He was not there this weekend. Then we start going onto the list of who was not there, this side who was not there. The players that you have available have a tactical approach to be able to win games. And that's what I'm expecting from both coaches, not to tell us who was not there, because both sides were missing key players.
There you go. What are your views on that one? Who got the good point between the two sides, the two giants in that encounter over the weekend? Saleng was there though, and he's one of those we're talking about as potentially a player of the week. Wins the penalty here, goes down. Clear penalty?
Clear pen. The defending player's on the floor, because he's on the floor, he's going to have to stay static. He's not on his feet. And all he does is hooks his feet around the opponent's feet and just, it's a basic trick.
There we go.
He cannot get anywhere near the ball because he's static on the floor.
Steps up, does Saleng after that. Top corner.
I think well taken pen. I think it's 2 in 2 now for Saleng. Again, he wins the ball back. He charges forward. He's driving the team forward, waiting for the defender to commit. He gives an assist to Mleleki, who also gets his second of the season. So their combination and understanding is growing with every game they're playing together.
Continues here as Albert 2 up against Magesi. And then, wow, the finish. It is a great day at the office for Albert College.
Mololeka with that deft little touch into Wagaba, and you wouldn't expect Wagaba to have hit it first time, to be honest, but he was confident enough. And that was a hell of a goal going across the keeper.
And then we see here, already in the game, there were 2 red cards. Albert were down to 10. Mkabela sent off in this one, as well as Mjali sent off later in the game. So Albert then having to hang on, and in that hanging on, they did concede.
Yeah, Chiramakare, experienced man, educated left foot, he cuts in from the right hand side. You see that the angle is allowing, does not go for power, he goes for placement, and he gets them one for the road.
Now take a look at this. And Daniel, I know I didn't get you a chance to see this moment, so you have to have very sharp eyes. There's a red card that gets given here. And if you look at it, Mjali, watch the bottom of the screen and watch the water bottle that comes. He's sitting on the chair right now, and then he gets up. And when he gets up, he throws the bottle towards the ball boy. Watch there, 26. He's walking across, Daniel. He's got a bottle in his hand, and then there goes the bottle. Shoot, tata.
You can see why he's throwing the ball, because the ball boy's throwing the second ball on the field, like that in the South Africa Zimbabwe, that creates a problem. But this is where the player has to keep his head. You can't be throwing water bottles. So he gets a red card. Am I right?
He does get
a red card because that's violent contact. You can't be throwing water bottles at people. So for me, a red card.
Sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
Sitting on the bench, relaxing. Then the ref says, and are you saying straight red there?
Straight red. It's violent contact. You're using using an instrument to strike somebody. Even though it's not holding the bottle, you can still do damage with a full water bottle. And especially throwing at kids. Come on, what are we doing?
Yeah, but I mean, why are you kicking another ball or throwing another ball on the field?
Look, that's obviously the team's tactics. The coaches told the ball boys to do that. It's a tactic that they tell the ball boys.
We don't know that. You're seeming to say that.
I've seen it firsthand.
What?
That they tell the ball boys to either sit in certain positions or when the game's at a certain, the ball boys throw it on. And the referees, before every single match, warn the ball boys not to do it. They have to warn the ball boys not to do it.
And suddenly balls also start to disappear.
Yeah.
There were 20 balls at one stage, now there's suddenly 2.
Mara umtshali akadlali intanga zakhe angenzi kanje kubantwana.
It's wrong.
No, kubantwana no.
No, it's wrong.
Kuntanga zakhe.
I agree.
Thank you.
It's wrong. There we go. Interesting red card and fascinating incidents taking place in the Betway Premiership. We're back right after this break with still plenty more goals, plenty more actions. There are 4 goals being scored. Hey, Babushisa this weekend. You're a Chippa United fan. The match against Amazulu was critical. It was at home. It was a game that Chippa would be looking to get away from the bottom of the table from. And it starts out with a penalty inside the first 5 minutes of the game. The penalty spot is pointed to. Goodman Musele is the one given the instruction to take that penalty. Here we go. I don't even know what happened here. I can't tell you what the penalty was given for, but it was given.
In real time, I couldn't tell what the referee had blown this for. When I watched it 3 or 4 times, I still couldn't tell.
So, in the air, and it looks like Evan Guy's maybe got a push from Allen, but it's a contact sport, as you were saying.
I can't see anything wrong in this clip at all. If I look at it from a referee perspective, I think the referee thinks that when the ball hits the attacking player's head, Allen's arm is quite close, and I think he's thinking that's a handball. But it's a clear no pen. But at the end of the day, I used to hate it when I was a ref and the Reds come justice. That's justice.
That's karma. That's karma for him.
Justice as it's been called, but an opportunity missed from Goodman Musele. And then the floodgates opened as far as AmaZulu's attacking football is concerned. And you mentioned at the top of the show, the referee giving the opportunity to play on here as they come forward, AmaZulu, and Ex-Team is just proving again, just be so important to his club.
A poor ball from Fasika, he just catches them out, and when this comes across to Ex-Team, he's in such great form. He uses the defender as a shield. You can see that Mobali is going in the wrong direction, and he just slots it on the opposite side. Great, cool, calm finish from the young man.
So there it is. Nothing that man could do about trying to keep that out. Stanley Nwabali couldn't keep it away, keep it out. Ex-Team is just cool in the box, too cool in the box. Now when you needed some coolness, you needed the referee here maybe, because Atini Matokola, should he have been on the field to score? Because he scores not long after this. Daniel, tell me.
Yeah, obviously the referee, I think, showed the wrong colour card. He came out with if you look at this challenger, it's just speed, it's intensity. There is no attempt to play the ball. Point of contact, these are all the considerations we have to consider. The point of contact is crucial for me here. Right by the touchline, the player who receives the challenge, he's put his first of all planted, which is dangerous, and there's 2 feet studded tackle on the Achilles tendon, which is a very, very soft spot in the body. It's not protected by a boot or a shin guard. And 2 feet from behind, we talked about behind Abby, but it's the
He gets a yellow.
The speed and the intensity. So
here's the tackle.
What I loved about that clip is when the referee pulled out the yellow card, his teammate grabbed him and said, let's get out of here.
And here's another angle. Look how high that is.
That's high. He actually starts higher and slides down.
Straight red.
Straight red.
Doesn't get the yellow.
Serious foul play. Wrong colour card for me.
That was the survival of Matokola. Then, just a few minutes later, he does this. And according to Daniel Bennett, he shouldn't have been on the field. But if you're given a life, take it.
What composure from Matokolo in this moment when the ball is given. Look at how composed he is. He knows he's in the penalty area. Any touch that comes from Fasika is a penalty. And that's why he kept his composure. Coach Atlazwani celebrating like that. Remember that they were co-coaches with Vilakazi at AmaZulu when they took over the job. He goes on, Matokolo, to be able to get that goal. Good third man running underlaps to be able to get that goal.
A great switch off there as well to catch out Kamis at right back. Space in between. He does well to underlap, like Kumozo says. But when you bottom off the log, Thomas, these are the types of things that happen. Get a penalty, don't slot it. Man should
be playing against 10 men for second half of the game.
He then scores against you. The very same man that should have got a red, And so Chippa just have to knuckle down and keep working hard until luck swings their way.
Penalty, Daniel?
Clear pen.
Clear?
Yeah, clear. The defender can't challenge for the ball. There's no ability for him to challenge. He just tries to slide in and makes no contact with the ball. Makes 2 feet contact. He's diving in and lunging. So that's clear contact. The ball's 3 or 4 yards away from where the actual tackle comes in.
Yeah, and it's also, it's a, this sort of attitude with the defender racing back, blood rushing to his head, is a build-up, because the things that have not gone their way. Bottom of the log. They are disorganized, they lack calmness, and Majadi Buru should have just stayed on his feet there, really. But now, 3-0, no chance of coming back.
And Ex-Team with the brace there. Now let's move on and take a look at one of the performances of the weekend, and that was yesterday. Golden Arrows up against Marumo Gallants. Remember, those two sides are playing each other in the Carling knockout over the weekend as well. I don't know what this says about how Gallants' preparations are going, but for Arrows, who play Orlando Pirates as well in the midweek, Arrows, Ishisa
kakhulu, Thomas, because when you look at what Mlambo does, they supply Dion is not the top scorer with the 7 goals that he has scored in the league, but they don't stop Arrows. Once they attack, Mlambo is really cooking and building an offensive looking Arrows, good counter press, and they are creating a lot of opportunities.
Dion scores, Cisse scores, great finish there, top corner. Then we see a brace from Tongazani as well. And what is Mlambo doing that is just clicking right now? He's beaten Mamelodi Sundowns this season, and he will be looking to try and do something similar to Pirates when they take each other on midweek.
I think he's got his midfield right. He's playing with the 6 in Dlamini, who's passing the midfield. He's got 2 8s in front of him, Cisse and Matwele, who have been fantastic, and Glovo out wide has been great. And then in that regard, you know, it was 1-0 up until 75 minutes, and then off the bench comes Komalo, you know, an assist and 2 goals. So great subs coming off the bench as well.
That's the wrap-up of the action as far as what happened in the Betway Premiership and the Carling is concerned. Did you guys catch the draw earlier on for the Champions League as well as the draw for the Confederations Cup?
I saw Mamelodi Sundowns in the same group as Al Hilal, same group as Coach Rulani, and also Lupopo.
Why
So
is
it's an interesting group.
Who's going, Why,
We don't react to...
You just did.
No, I didn't. It wasn't me.
I heard.
It was Daniel. Next.
I heard that you reacted.
No. No, we know how to fight in DRC.
And then the Kaiser Chiefs group is also an interesting group. They've got 2 trips to Egypt.
Yeah, that's right. You know, it's great again to have 2 teams in the Confederations Cup. So again, great for the youngsters to be able to travel and experience those sort of conditions.
All right, so those were fascinating draws that did take place, and make sure that you do catch it. You can even watch it on Catch Up as well. But thank you very much, Matthew Booth. Thank you very much to Call It Like Daniel Bennett. Thank you to Pumuzo Mayans at the far post. And don't forget that we still have so many fixtures for you when it comes to the Betway Premiership tomorrow and on Wednesday. The World of Champions brings you all the action in the Betway Premiership. This is